Welcome to Talk About Coaching with us, Sheri Boone and Jamie Tenzer. We spend our days talking about coaching as we train and mentor coaches, and we've been doing this for over 20 years. We even talk about coaching when we're just chatting with each other. So we thought, why not record our chats and share them with you? Our goal is to share our expertise to help you on your journey to become a better coach. And we'll share ideas that you can take and try on to see if they work for you. We hope you'll find value, and if there's a topic you'd like us to talk about, please let us know. We can be reached at coachcachet.com. That's CoachCachet.com. We hope you'll enjoy today's Talk About Coaching.
Hi everyone, welcome to Talk About Coaching. This is Jamie Tenzer and I'm here with Sheri Boone, and today we are going to be talking about Competencies 2.5 and 2.6, which are under the Embodies a Coaching Mindset umbrella of competencies. And 2.5 is uses awareness of self and one's intuition to benefit clients. And 2.6 is develops and maintains the ability to regulate one's emotions. So let me get Sheri in here, and let's start with the first one. 2.5 uses awareness of self and one's intuition to benefit clients. Sheri, what are your thoughts when you think about this particular competency?
Yes, this is a good one. This is a good one. When I think about, how I might use my intuition in a coaching session, given that we all have intuition sometimes, right, about something that our client might be saying, and so, or not saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I think about that, I think, well, an example maybe would be that I notice that my client is that there might be something going on, like an emotion that's not being expressed, or something underlying the surface topic that the client is talking about. And I'm noticing that. So I have this intuition. What do I do with that? And I feel like, it's important that if I choose to share that I want to make sure that to find out what the client thinks about that. So I might say, I'm noticing as you're talking that it feels like there might be, some frustration, or there might be some sadness, or whatever it is that I notice. But then I want to say, so what do you think about that as you hear me say that? What comes up for you? So I want to make sure, and if I'm going to share the intuition, I want to make sure that I check in with the client to see how valid that really is. And there may be times when I think, or I have an intuition and I choose not to share it. I'm just going to let that be for a bit, put it to the side, and see what happens as we go along, or what, as the session progresses. So those are a couple of thoughts about that. What do you think, Jamie?
Yeah. So I agree, and I mean I think offering it, and whether you say, I'm just wondering, or I'm curious about, gee, my head put this and this together as you were talking. Is there anything there that resonates with you? Or, so it's like, as long as you are, first of all, it has a lot to do with how you establish your relationship with your client. So I think it's important that this be done in a situation where the client really understands they are in charge of what's happening in the session, that you're offering is not something they need to take on or have to agree with. And if you feel sure about that, then yeah, offering it up and sharing it with no attachment, which is actually one of the other competencies, just really to give the client maybe a new perspective or a new way of looking at something, I think is really good and can be quite powerful. And what you said about you might choose not to share it too, which is really interesting. So just because we have intuition doesn't mean we have to share it with the client or that it would even benefit the client.
And I think that's the really, yeah, I agree. I think that's the important point, and that's the other part of this competency to the benefit of the client. So is this, maybe my not sharing it is the best choice in that moment, because maybe something else is going on, or it's going to evolve, or I have that intuition, right? That, wait a minute, this is going to come out here in another minute because, as I'm listening to my client. So yeah, I think it's in a way it's a little bit of a tricky one because it is, I don't want to ever assume that just because I have an intuition, it's right, or that I might want to share it. So I think it's something to be aware of. Yeah.
And that is where the first part of that sentence comes in, uses awareness of self. So that's the other
Yes.
thing, is to be self-aware enough to understand, is this actually intuition about the client? Or is this more about me? Maybe I've had a similar experience, or,
Right.
who knows, right? So
Yep. Yep.
there's a lot jam-packed into that
Hmm.
2.5.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so then on to 2.6, develops and maintains the ability to regulate one's emotions.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What about
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yes. The ability to regulate one's emotions. Um, I think this is such a, a great skill for coaches to have, and it's critical, really, to be able to be so aware, very aware of what's happening for us in that moment. Us being, me, the coach, what's happening for me as I'm listening to my client, and what emotions are coming up, and how do I, just to notice them and be able to sort of compartmentalize and put them to the side and and stay right there in that conversation in that moment with my client, because does it really matter what my emotions are? Not in the service of my client in this particular coaching conversation. No, I really don't think they do. I think it's so much so much more helpful, and so much, you're such a better coach when you can um, sort of be in charge of those emotions, notice them, put them off to the side, and then continue on with being that really, wonderful, beautiful, neutral coach that can be the witness, be the recognizer, be the partner for your client in any kind of a coaching conversation. That's the biggest thing I think that comes up for me with this one. What about
Mhm.
you?
Yes. I mean, and part of what I hear you saying too, and that is we are going to have emotions there.
Yeah.
I mean, clients will have situations and challenges that we resonate with, that we may have experienced ourselves. We may feel sad, we may, and to be able to, as you said, compartmentalize, acknowledge, we're human, these things come up. Okay, I'll set that aside, I'll take a look at it when I'm done with this session, but what this is about right now is my client. And for me, I feel like we are going to, when we're coaching, we're going to have emotions. We're going to get distracted. We're going to ask closed-ended questions. We're going to do all these things we're not supposed to do. But how fast can you see that happening and shift? That to me is the most mastery in
Mm,
coaching.
yeah.
So, how fast can you identify, oh, that's my emotion coming up. I'm going to set that aside and I'll deal with that later and get back to being present with my client.
Hmm. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
All right. Well, thank you for talking about coaching with me.
Always a pleasure. I love talking about coaching with you.
See you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We hope you're taking away a nugget or two that you want to try on as you coach your magnificent clients. As always, we invite your comments at coachcachet.com. Once again, that's COACHCACHET.com.